ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome on behalf of Steve Wood for VIP Promotions and on behalf of World Champion Josh Warrington for Leeds Warrior Promotions. This is an evening of professional boxing action. We are on TalkSport Boxing and we come to you live from the John Charles Centre for Sport in Leeds, Yorkshire. So we are proudly sponsored by Morley's Chicken, by Lawrence Grant Chartered Accountants, by award-winning Cosmetic Surgery Partners of London, and by 1111 Management. And this is our opening contest. Our officials at ringside, Alan Oster and Ian Cragg. This is for 3-minute rounds in the super welterweight division. Our timekeeper at the bell. For this one, Amjad Ditta, referee in charge of the action from Bury, star referee Mr. John Latham. Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner. He wears the black shorts with silver and gold, weighed in 11 stone 4 pounds 2 ounces. He is a boxing centurion. He competes this evening, contest number 128, and this man has gone the distance in all but 6. From Brierley Hill, West Midlands, he is Matthew James, also known as MJ Hall. And across the ring in the red corner, wearing the white shorts with black and gold, tip the scales 10 stone 10 pounds 8 ounces, an 8-fight record, 6 wins, only 2 defeats. From Doncaster, Yorkshire, Jake Goodwin.
Well, Jake Goodwin will certainly be wanting to get back to winning ways after a couple of defeats, and like Josh just said, in his gym now, focused, and he will be back to business. Jake in the white and black shorts with the white boots. Both fighters come to the centre of the ring. MJ Hall in the black and grey shorts and black boots. And the kind of opening round, start to the opening round, which you expect. Both fighters measuring each other up and just seeing what each other's about a bit.
And it's always quite interesting when you've got a fighter coming back from a loss, coming back from the L. As it knocks a bit of confidence, yes, you can do a bit of sparring, you can do all the training in the world, but when the nerves come in and it's for real under the lights, that's when it really matters. And you know, Jake, all throughout this camp, he's been training hard and he's looked focused and looks confident, but it's nice to see, can he deliver it here?
Absolutely, a good stab to the body by Jake Goodwin. And I heard him in an interview this week saying that he's doing less training but more training, and what he was saying is he's training a lot smarter now, and that was a good 1-2 there from Goodwin. He's got some good support here. Every time he lands something of any significance, you can hear the noise, so a well-supported fighter, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, you're right what you're talking about there, Darren, with the training. You look at him, he's an athletic figure, but I think, you know, athleticism is all good, but at this stage he needs to be learning the game of boxing. You know, understanding the right punching of movements, and that's what he's been doing a lot more with my dad, Sean O'Wagan, and he's been looking miles better in the gym.
He was saying how happier he is now since he's been in the gym, and it's a good vibe in there, and you can see there's some good energy about him in this ring, and looks to start to find his groove here as we come towards the end of the opening round here in Leeds. He's measuring up his man, getting his distance right.
I think that's another thing as well, when he's asking questions. He asks questions to myself, Max Hughes, Reece Mould, some of the other stablemates of Jake. We tell him, just be a bit patient. You know, you can look for openings and take your time, and it seems that he's doing now, taking centre ring and popping that jab.
It's good from Goodwin, just snapping that jab out and just getting himself just out of distance. And the boxing foundations are being laid here in the opening round. But as I said in the opening, MJ Hall is a man who knows his way around a boxing ring, knows every single trick in the book, and he will use them, won't he, Josh?
Oh, most definitely. He'll make Jake think, and he'll make Jake not get too carried away with himself. You know, so Jake's, even though he knows what he's there to do, he's got to stay switched on.
Absolutely. So a question to you as a fighter, Josh, is sometimes is it harder to fight someone like that than it is, you know, kind of somebody a 3-0 or 4-0 who's a real tidy boxer, just because they do know exactly how to get you where they want to get you or whatever they want to do?
Well, I kind of thought I had that when I boxed Michelle Lara for the first time, and I ended up on my backside. But yeah, there's been stages throughout my career. One of them when I boxed in Germany, boxed a fella called Edwin Tellers, and it's just take a different kind of focus. And there were times when I shouldn't have done it, but I was taking my eye off the ball, and I'm getting caught a few shots, and it took a good slap off the face off my dad's, and to tell me to wake up, to get back focused.
But that's what it's about, isn't it? In the fairly early days of these fighters' careers, it's about learning, it's a journey, it's all of that other good stuff. That's what prepares you when you get into those championship rounds later on down the line, isn't it?
These rounds are invaluable because, you know, the so-called journeymen, the teachers, like I say, sparring, you've got head guards on, but when you've got the small gloves on and the head guards come off and there's a little bit more nerves and pressure, you know, sometimes you might find some of these journeymen talking to you, you know, giving you a few pointers, but then again, they might let you know they can turn it on if they need to, and you know, make it work.
I've never heard an away fighter referred to as a teacher, but that's a great analogy. And just as I say that, Goodwin comes through with a solid double jab to the face of Hall, and then just steps out of range and is boxing very nicely here. There's good 3 straight shots there from Jake Goodwin.
Great straight shots and a change of an angle. I think, you know, watching some of his previous losses, it was when he was finishing the shots, coming back in straight lines and then caught with his hands down, and that's like ended in results that he had. But coming out and he's changing the angles, back on the jab straight away, perfect.
Good controlled stuff from Goodwin here in the second round, as he holds the centre of the ring, has not taken his eyes off his opponent for a second in this fight, and looks to be straight to business. He is well and truly keen to get back to winning ways and rebuilding.
Lovely shot.
Hall almost trying to taunt him just a tiny bit with leaning back on the ropes there and trying to slip a couple of shots. Goodwin through with another. That jab's working nicely for him, Josh.
It's a lovely jab. It's one of his best assets. You're seeing in this gym, Sean O'Wagan has been drilling with him constantly, getting him to throw it and have a little bit more confidence in it, and then vary the jab up. But you know, there's been stages of him. Every jab he throws, he wants to be a power jab, but there's times when you need to throw it with speed, and time where you're just using it to set up other shots. There is a good variety of it tonight.
I've got to say, a very disciplined performance from Goodwin. He's not getting himself carried away. When he throws shots and the crowd react, he's doing exactly what it should be, and that is just sticking to his boxing, which isn't the easiest thing to do, is it?
No, I was just going to say that myself. You have to acknowledge the discipline, because it's only 4 rounds. It's a sprint, really. You know, Jake spars 8 to 10 rounds. He's fit enough to do the championship distance, but like, to keep the discipline, especially when your friends and your family have bought the tickets and they just want blood. They want to see you knock somebody out, you know, and it's hard to get carried away and sometimes you can do that, but keep the bliss spin and listen to the corner instructions shows a good mindset.
What are good instructions, Josh, when you're in the corner, when you're, doesn't matter what part of your career you're in, so you've just come back for a round, whether you've won it or you've lost it, what are good instructions? What's the kind of the best way to go about it? What does your dad say to you? Is it a few seconds, breathe, and then give you a couple of things, or how does it work?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's something where Sean O'Regan, my old man, he likes to do. He don't like to overload you. Like you say, there's a minute in between rounds, but by the time you get back to the stool, you probably got about 4 or 5 seconds. So if you some negatives of the round, it's like take them negatives away and then look for a few positives, but just keep it brief. And I think over experience you'll learn to work things out yourself, read the fights. But it can be them little bits of instruction that can make a hell of a difference, and I think that's where Sean O'Regan pulls out the best of his game. He looks for things what matter the most.
Absolutely, Goodwin's got himself a good corner team there, and he's starting this round the same way he ended the last round, and that is nice tight guard, good feet, and sticking to his boxing as he just changes his height and just sticks those straight shots out, which is the shots which are working for him so well here tonight.
And like in these fights I've been here, you can get a bit lazy. You can think, I don't have to bring my hand back as quickly, and even though these journeymen are dangerous, always very dangerous, like I say, he's been in with everybody, but there's times when you can just think, going for coasting. But Jake's staying disciplined, he's keeping his head movement, his hands are back straight to his head, and he's punching with venom. I see a bit of blood down to the nose of Hall.
It's good, and just a few moments ago Goodwin landed a decent body shot, so he's starting to switch it up a little bit with those shots both upstairs and downstairs. But that long jab is working a treat. But going back to what you were saying just a moment ago, Josh, it must be difficult sometimes not to become complacent and switch off. Like there's so many different elements to boxing, isn't there, and being good at it.
Yeah, just knowing a second ago, he did step back and with a low right hand, and MGL come over the top in southpaw position with the right hand. And even though he just took Jake, I know my old man will be a bit disappointed with that, because you can't be letting anybody have them free opportunities, because this is, like I said, this is where you're learning, and you don't want it to happen later down the line when the fights really matter. Of course, every time you get in the ring it matters, but when it comes to a title you can't be making mistakes like that, because you'll pay the price.
You certainly will, and Hall dived in a couple of times a few moments ago with his head down, and Goodwin made him punish for it with some good uppercuts straight up the middle of the guard. A couple of them got through, and the nose of Hall starting to look a little bit red in there, and that was a solid round there for Jake Goodwin. He did get caught, like you said, but he seems to be just gently going through the gears now. Yeah,
I'm just going to say, a little turn of pace right at the end of the round. As you go on down the line, that's things that could pinch you around. Who's winning the last minute? Who's winning the last 30 seconds? When it's rounds tight, judges remember things like that. Sometimes it even comes down to the last 10 seconds. Yep. So you start learning stuff like that now. It gets ingrained in your mind, and it's kind of experience. An old fighter's trick.
It's an old Cuban trick, isn't it? He's landed not throwing as many punches, or not landing as many punches, but landing a more eye-catching shots. Those ones that make the crowd go ooh, and that is where that's what the judges respond to, don't they?
Like I said there,
well, here we go.
Fights, you see someone else snap back, and the crowd can be influenced at the time, and change the opinion of the judges on a close contest. So, like I say, them telling punches could be the difference.
Good energy, good footwork. He's light on his toes, is Jake Goodwin, as we go into this fourth and final round. A round which he's just got a win, and at ringside, I think it's fair to say that Goodwin will be victorious again, and it will be a nice confidence builder. It'll be something he can have his chin up high for, and then get back to business and back to all the good and smart work which he's been doing with you and all the guys in the gym.
Yeah, and it's nice to see some of the stuff that he's been working on in the gym coming out. You know, a lot of the time he's reverted back to old habits, planting his feet, but he's athletic, and I think he works really well on his feet. He's got a great jab, so why not be in and out? Why not make it sharp, fast, speed, making sure your defence is there. Hit the shots, let him go.
Shots.
And come
good
out.
Shots and,
perfect.
And Hull just having a bit of fun there, pretending that his legs are gone, which they weren't, but he must have felt it enough to give a reaction.
Well, there's a bit of reddening around Hall's face, and the nose is showing a bit of claret as well, so the punches are doing some damage. Obviously, you wouldn't be wanting to take these for another 4 rounds or so.
Oh, that was a good left uppercut under the right elbow of Hull from Goodwin, and he's just starting to let his hands go a little bit here, and I think Hull might be just starting to feel a bit of pressure, and that will give Goodwin the confidence, but not too long left here in the fourth and final round. I'm sure Hull will survive it, but Goodwin's going to make sure that the final moments of this round aren't too much pleasure.
I can see Jake having a word with himself there. He's telling himself to stay disciplined, although I can feel that he wants to put the foot down. Nice little bit of defensive just back there with a roll, and then pushed all straight back into the ropes.
Good consistent work there from Goodwin, who is doing something at all times. If he's not punching, he's moving his feet. If he's not moving his feet, he's moving his head. He's constantly active. He's making Hull think about every shot which he throws, which is good boxing.
2s and 3s, 2 phases attacks. Good performance. Very good performance.
Indeed, a solid performance from Jake Goodwin, and Hull doing what he does best, which is being the away fighter and making life difficult, making his opponent work, and all of the stuff which these guys are so good at. And I have got so much respect for these away fighters. Before Hull box tonight, 528 rounds, which is quite frankly ridiculous, isn't it? But he's been in there with some good fighters, and that would have been a good learning experience for Jake Goodwin. And we'll now get the official decision from our MC, Craig Stephen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee, Mr. Latham, will bring both our boxers to the centre of the ring. We go to the score totals, 40 points to 36. The winner from Doncaster, Jake Goodwin.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.